bye week's over. Time to get back to business. What's up, Vikings Nation, and welcome to the Minnesota Vikings Syndicate. I'm your host, Trey Wicks. Now, before we get started, if you are a new viewer on this channel, we talk endless amounts of content surrounding the Minnesota Vikings. So if that's something you would like, consider hitting that subscribe. We're trying to get the channel to 500 subs by November 1st. We're only 7 more away, so all you have to do is hit that subscribe to help me reach my goal. So let's get into it. The bye week is officially over. Now it's time to get back to business. Not that we haven't been, doing stuff on the side, but I'm assuming our players have gotten a little bit of time by themselves, go see family, kind of regroup and regenerate, get healthy, basically. But with that being said, we've waited over a week. It'll be 2 weeks by the time we get football. So we're going to dive through this game briefly, a little preview, beginning of the week preview, if you will, that is brought to us by Christopher Gates per the Vikings Wire, and kind of went through this matchup and what to expect and who's the favorite, who's the underdog, stuff like that. So let's get right into it. This is what Christopher Gates had to say. He said, "We've officially made it through the bye week, ladies and gentlemen, and now it's time to focus on the NFC North leading Minnesota Vikings making their way back to the football field. They'll do just that on Sunday at US Bank Stadium when they host the Arizona Cardinals." Now, the Cardinals have had a bit of a rough go of things so far this season as they enter this one with a record of 3-4 and in a tie for the bottom spot in the NFC West. However, they are coming off their biggest offensive performance of the season as they put up 42 points on Thursday Night Football in a 42-34 defeat of the New Orleans Saints. Granted, they did get a pair of pick sixes, but 42 points is still pretty impressive. The Vikings come into this one with a record of 5-1 and riding a 4-game winning streak, capped off by their 28-16 victory over Miami in Week 6. The Vikings are winning games despite a great deal of inconsistency on both sides of the ball. Now, hopefully, the bye week has given them the opportunity to reflect on a few things and make the necessary changes if they're going to make a serious run going forward. Now, these two teams played in a thriller in Week 2 last season down in Arizona. The Vikings got themselves into position to give Greg Joseph a shot at a 37-yard field goal, but typical Vikings fashion, he pushed it wide to the right to preserve a 34-33 victory for the Arizona Cardinals. Now, the Vikings are the early favorites yet again in this one, as DraftKings Sportsbook have made them an early 5.5-point favorite. The over-under is currently set at 48 points, which is one of the higher numbers we've seen so far for a Vikings game over the past few weeks. Now, kickoff for this one is scheduled for noon Central Time on Fox. We'll have all our coverage of this week's game available for you guys in the Vikings Wire. That's what he said. So it is at noon Central. Vikings are early favorites in this game. I cannot wait for it. Look, the bye week is always not a great week, right? Where we want football, an endless amount of football, and when we don't, you kind of sit around, twiddle your thumbs. Yes, you get to watch the rest of the games, but nothing's better than watching our Minnesota Vikings come away victorious. And that's exactly what I expect to happen this Sunday going into Arizona, or going against Arizona. We should come out of this one 6-1, but we are currently the favorites, the early favorites in this one. We have been the favorites for the past, I think, 3 or 4 games, so that's nice. Actually, probably the 5 games that we've been the favorites. So anyways, I think we have the better team. We have the better record. Now we just got to go and prove it. The bye week's over. It's time to get back to business. Anyways, thank you guys for tuning in. If you're new to this channel or returning viewer and have not hit that sub yet, consider doing so for endless amounts of Minnesota Vikings content. The goal is 500 subs by November 1st. Have a great rest of your day, and Skol Vikes.